What is up, YouTube, and welcome to episode 70 of the Chaos Daily. Yeah, the printer is going. I do apologize. I kind of took the print out this morning, those prints there, and started the next print absent-mindedly, knowing that I had to do this episode and talk about these prints. But I just wanted to get the next one started. For some reason I started it, so hopefully it's not too bad in the audio. This printer's quite loud. So let's go have a look at those prints and see how they turned out. So we got the previous prints here. We had the 1mm shell that we said was too heavy, but was quite strong, was borderline. There's a little bit more warping that has occurred over the few days since the print. So we'll see how these go. And then we had the 2mm shell that was just too heavy. So going by those results in the last episode, we wanted to get better results than this, but still have some similar strength. So this was the winner so far, was the 1mm shell. So in the previous episodes, I said I would print a 0.75mm shell, so halfway between the 0.5 and the 1mm. Now this turned out really nice. It held its shape very well. It's got very little warping or anything from the printing. There's still some of the support material stuck in there that I need to pull out, but I'm gonna let it cure a bit longer first. So let's see how much this weighs. Actually, we need to get that support material out, so just a sec. There we go, I've got the support material all out, so should get an accurate weight of it now. 37, so that's not too bad. If we're looking at the 26 for the 0.5 and the 44 for the 1mm, 36 is not bad at all. So it's held its shape very nicely, but it's prone to, compression and stuff. The skin is quite stiff and strong by itself, so you'd need very little ribs or support structure in this. So we will look at doing something like what I'm going to show you next with the 0.75mm skin, and then we can use a reduced amount of support material on the inside just to let it hold as much of the strength as it needs to. So moving on, I've tried this pattern, which is the ISO grid pattern. There were some minor defects in printing here, otherwise turned out really nicely. There was no support structure on the inside in order to print it. So this was an ISO grid with a 15mm spacing. And let's see how much it weighs. 39 grams. Now that's impressive. For an extra 3 grams, we've gone back to 0.5mm thickness of the skin, and we're getting a lot more strength than what we're getting with a 0.75 or even a 1mm skin. This is much stiffer. There's very little flex in it. This is good. Like, I would go with this, and then I would only add a few ribs in order to hold and mount spars through it. But this skin is actually nice and stiff, nice and strong. I mean, look, there's very little flex in that. It's not fully cured yet, so it's still quite flexible. They've only been in the chamber for about 10-15 minutes. And I haven't turned them around or anything, but that's good. I really like that. That's very promising. So we can work with this idea. This is good. And then next up, we have a 20mm ISO grid. Let's see how much this weighs. Now that's impressive. We're actually lighter than the 075, and we've got more strength than the 075 with a 0.5mm skin thickness. It's not quite as strong as the 15mm, but yeah, I was not expecting that. That's a brilliant result. So we're on the right track with this ISO grid then. We can definitely refine the spacing, thicknesses of the ISO grid, all that sort of stuff, and get much better results. So there you go. That's some very interesting results that we got there, especially with the ISO grids. The 0.75mm performed a little bit better than I expected, to be honest. But compared to the weight of going back down to 0.5mm skin thickness and then using an internal ISO grid or some other internal structure has really boosted the strength of the structure, even with that thin wall thickness. So next up we have straight rib sections, very similar to what I've used in the Albatross, and we'll have a look at those tomorrow and see what the results are. I've done different spacings as well as different thicknesses of the ribs, and we've got 3 different variants on there. And then next up will be cross-hatching patterns, and then we'll have a good array of different patterns and stuff that we can look at, and we can make then decisions from there how to improve on that. And then I will do another batch of the winners, basically, of which performed the best, and I'll do another 3 prints with variations of the best best features from each of the different, systems that we tried to use. So yeah, hopefully it's not too loud with the printer going in the background. I do apologize for that. I completely forgot and started the print without thinking about it. So tomorrow I will try and remember to leave it off until after I've got the episode done. So as always, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe if you're not. Go check out my other channel if you're new to the channel here. As always, I'm Chaos, and until next time, expect the unexpected, and I will see you guys later.
And a special thank you to all my patrons that help support the channel. If you would also like to support the channel, there's a link in the description.